Hey Dragon Dreamers, Gina Virginia Casella here, and the one behind the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. Come dream with us. Your soul tribe awaits you. I do all kinds of things. Gemstone readings, mind reprogramming, energy medicine. At this time in my life, I've been redirected by Source to bring us together. The Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective through an umbrella term called Project 30, Isis Unity Consciousness. You're invited to dream with us. Through dreams half remembered and half misunderstood, we fill in the gaps for each other because we're all one. There's all kinds of times and dates lined up that I would absolutely adore for you to be a part of. And one of my favorite things to do is to assert that the Akashic records are not a permanent record because your past never defines you. And we can do what's called living consciously so we can die consciously. United are we. Be free. Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective awaits you. Dream with us. My name is Gina Virginia Casella, creator and visionary of Project 30 Isis Unity Consciousness. See you in dreams. Hey, Dragon Dreamers, Gina Virginia Casella here. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Today, you get to hang out with me live, just hanging out, getting you informed about some updates, anything that, if you have any questions about memberships, that's what today is about. And I actually have a little list here to help me stay organized. And I'm noticing something funny. My hat keeps disappearing with the background. Can you tell? Oh man. Let me know if you wear hats. I love wearing hats. In the wintertime, I like to wear a toque. Otherwise, it's too windy. Get my hood there. And in the spring, fall in particular, I like to wear a hat because it just helps with things like hair frizziness with the mistiness in the air. We had snow yesterday, and now today is a beautiful summer day. All the snow has melted. So let me know about you and where you're turning in. Hi, Blaze 10. I see you there in the comments. And my favorite season is definitely summer. Absolutely. Let me know what your favorite season is. I'm in Ontario right now, and I really like the dry heat. So my cat and I, Rosie, were moving away this summer. Where? I'm not sure. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not sure about the in-person conference. We're guarantee having 4 online conferences this year, but the one in July is pending. It's pending here in London, Ontario. It could be pending in Maple Ridge. It may or may not happen at all. That's why the in-person is a bonus conference. And this is my first time hosting, running my own conferences, being my own administrator. So it's pretty cool. I think I'm going to take my hat off because I don't know about you, but it is distracting me. Right? It keeps disappearing. What's up with that? Okay, so my hat's off. Hats off to you, Dragon Dreamers. So what do I want to talk to you about today? Well, we are just hanging out, and so I always like to share whatever's going on. So this morning I randomly made a new flora. So I'll tell you more about it in a moment there, but I was randomly tidying up my stuff, going through my things. I'm living out of boxes right now, and I have some flora on the go. And if I can help it, I don't like to run right out. You know what I mean? And I actually like to have a few on the go. It's just since I officially became certified with the Four Winds as an master energy medicine practitioner, I'm going through flora like water. Flora, I like to make mine with vodka, and then I use whatever flowers are around me. In the wintertime, I was using fruit. I made not this one, but a different one out of apples and oranges. Um, I like to use the flowers in the garden. So in the past, even just like the purple flowers growing on the eggplant plants and the yellow zucchini flowers, I've made spirit floras with that. So this one here, usually I make little videos, but I haven't been doing that lately. This one here is a combination of Rosie's cat grass, and I added some lavender essential oil. So every time I make one, it's always a little bit different, and I always make it a point to decorate the bottle in a different way. So this blue scarf was part of my dream scarf. And in the past, I've put my dream scarf on spirit flora that I made, but just to change it up a little bit, I don't know if you can see it, but I added, um, maybe I'll remove my screen, my background there for a moment so you can see it. Okay, so I'll just show you quickly here. It's got an old pair of earrings that I had. And I do that. I'll collect random ribbons, old jewelry, broken jewelry, and just mix match things up when I make my flora. And it's like a little bit of my essence in here too. So um, I thought to myself when I was cleaning up my stuff, I used to have um, typically 4 floras on the go because I made one seasonally. And then I had a 5th flora that was specific to the full moon. And so I would use my floras accordingly. Whatever I was feeling, there was a connection with the seasonal cycles, and also just whatever prayers and information I was working with at that time. There we go. You see me a little bit better. So, anyways, I realized I didn't have any flora this morning, and I'm going through a lot more. And so I'm noticing that my routine is changing. There's a need for me to have more flora here. So, okay, whatever. So, when I was going through my things, I noticed that I actually had some dried basil from the summer. Now, I love infusing basil in vodka, it's the best. And I never did that before until I made a basil flora, and I'm hooked on it. And I like to save the basil flora for when I'm doing my full moon work. So I'm just noticing your comment too there, Blaze 10 monsoon. So you must like the rain, eh? I lived in South Korea for 2 years teaching English, and wow, does it ever get rainy there, their rainy season? So this one here is dried basil mixed with vodka. And as I was putting the dried basil in, I was squashing it a little bit, adding a bit of vodka, more dried basil, squashing it a bit, gave it a good shake. I like to keep this thing on top. You could put a mesh or a net, but but you just want to make sure like no bugs and dust are getting in there. Rosie, maybe, take her paw and knocking it over. I also added 19 squirts of the lavender essential oil. And this bottle, I'm telling you, it's never ending. I got it as a Christmas gift. I've been using it sparingly. It is, um, on the decline, but um, it just, I'm wondering if you can relate. Like I thought I would be out by now, and I remember thinking that I should save this and reserve it. But I thought, no, I need to stop doing that because I feel like we're all guilty of doing that. Like we save the fine china but we never use it, only for those one-off special occasions. And it's like, use the fine china all the time. Don't let your special makeup that you have or special shampoos collect dust. Use them. That's what they're for, right? And often I feel like what ends up happening is just that. We don't want to use our products because we love them so much, or maybe they were on the pricey side, but then what ends up happening is they end up going in the garbage, right? So I've been using this, like I said, liberally, and it's still, there's lots left. So after I shook it up a little bit, my intention um, was to do 3 squirts, but I had a moment and I thought, I'm going to do 3 rounds of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But then something in me was like, no, do more than that. So I just was like, psh, 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 and I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And when I got to 9, a little knowing chimed in my head. I don't hear voices in my head. It's just a knowing that comes through. And the knowing that came through, the communication, as soon as I was thinking 9, up here it was like 19 priestesses, right? The goddess Bridget, 19 priestesses. I don't remember the lyrics. Something about watching the eternal flame. And the goddess Bridget energy is super high for me. Like the goddess Bridget energy is high the end of January, beginning of February. We're in the beginning of April right now, but I'm still feeling this energy of the goddess Bridget. And when I first learned about her a handful of years ago, I'd never heard of her before. And the people in my group, they were like, once Bridget comes into your life, she stays in your life. And every single year, it's like, I think about that. She came into my life. She's been with me since. Her energy, it's still lingering. The goddess Bridget is always there, goddess of sovereignty, goddess of spring, goddess of summer. But uh, just like any energy that's out there, it's like a whale migrating, and depending on where the whale is in the cycle, if it's swinging by your neighborhood, which our neighborhood, better known as planet Earth, then the energy is higher. So I just thought that was really cool. I was surprised how dark green it turned out to be. And so I like to let this sit for 1, 2, or 3 days. I find after the second or third day, it starts to taste like the plantiness, if you will, starts to overcome. And I know a lot of folks out there, they let their flora sit for like a good week or two, and they even continue to add to it. And I tried that, and I have not been successful. One time when I first attempted, I used roses, and the vodka just bleached the color out of the roses. And I think I let it sit too long. Like I said, it was my first time doing it. But I find with me, just letting it sit for a day or 2 or 3 is good. So the next time you see me, I'll have a second bottle of Flora on the go. I'll have this one and then this one here. And I actually already have a bottle ready for it. And I just put a sock just to change it up. So, and I like to, yeah, I'm going to use this as I need it, but until I make until I get some fresh basil, not dried basil, but fresh basil, and I could have like a big bottle of vodka and keep that special for my full moon. I think this is going to be in lieu of the full moon flora. We'll see. We'll see, and I like that with the flora. It's like they each have their own little personality. And right now outside, I don't know what plant it is, but there's a weed and it has these purple flowers. And I noticed it like a month ago, and it's totally survived the snow, the frost, the rain, even like the garden hose going right over it and whatnot. Like, I'm pleasantly surprised this plant is alive. And I thought about going out and taking some of the little spring purple flowers from the plant, but I opted not to because this time of year, the tillers of the earth and pollinators, they're starting to come out. And so I just wanted to honor the nectar in the flowers. And it's a reminder, if you're new to this kind of stuff, when you're making a flora, you want to pick your flowers when summer is in abundance. You don't want to pick flowers in the spring. And not until things are like in motion. And you don't want to pick flowers in the late fall, because that's when, again, the insects, tillers of the earth, and pollinators are relying on that for the final hurrah, if you will, for them to acquire the nutrients that they need, as well as the housing that they need through plants and trees, right? So if you don't have access to flowers, you can go out and buy a bouquet. I've done that. This past Valentine's Day, my dad gave me, my mom, and my sister a rose. And so that's the thing with roses, right? Like, they're so beautiful, and that berry smell, it's so awesome. But I don't know about you, dragon dreamers, but I find with roses, they just don't last like carnations do, for example, right? So, my rose that my dad gave me, I could tell on like day 2 or 3, it was pretty much like going to start dying. And so I just put that in the vodka, ripped it apart, and like I mentioned earlier, in the past, when I didn't have access to any flowers, it was too cold to go outside and buy flowers. I just used fruit. So, okay, fruit is not a flower, but fruit comes from the flower. It was the closest thing that I could work with. And if you find your flora to be too vinegary, too vodka-y, whatever you're using, um, maybe it's too sour for whatever reasons, acidic, I find the essential oils help to balance it. And so I'm interested in what kind of essential oils you use, and be mindful about essential oils, because some of the essential oils you can consume, but some of them, it's intended for external use only. External use, um, some essential oils, it's not for your body at all. It's to put inside, to mix it with water, and then the water heats up, and it's like aromatherapy. So just be careful and be mindful that you're not poisoning yourself when you're making your flora. And the flora, you don't drink it. So when I was acquiring my shamanic training, some of my colleagues were very clear, crystal clear, that they do not drink any vodka, not one drop. I don't know if it's because maybe they had a problem with alcohol in the past, but it made me aware of that. Like, what do you do if, you used to have a problem with alcohol, you were an alcoholic, so now you've committed to zero alcohol, or maybe you have an allergy to alcohol. Like, what do you do, right? Well, again, you can always use vodka. I mean, you can always use vinegar, or you could use water. Now, if you use alcohol, vodka, it'll last pretty much forever. If you want to play around with the measurements, like half water, half vodka, it'll last longer, but not like straight vodka, you know? If you use vinegar, you can use straight vinegar. I've done that, but it is way too tangy, acidic-y. So using vodka and water mixed together will help your flora last longer so it won't get gross and moldy on you. And whenever you make a flora, you don't want to make, like if you're making it with vodka, you can make a big batch, but if you're making it with vinegar and water, you don't want to make a huge batch anyways. You just want to make something that's going to last you like a month or two, something like that. And if you're concerned about freshness, then you can just do what I did, which was unintentional, but it worked out for me. But in the summertime, I dried some basil and I kept it for the side. Wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. Well, I ended up using it for this year. So you want to aim for the flowers. So when you're making a basil flora, get the basil flowers mixed in there, and then the basil leaves. I like that spiciness for the just for the taste of it. So okay, check off list one thing, and I don't just randomly shake it. I have like a little routine: lefty loosey, righty tighty, tap tap tap, and I say special words. And sometimes I'll grab it and just shake it, shake, right? But at least once a day, like in the morning, I usually do this, and I only let it sit for like 2 or 3 days at the most. So it's not something that needs a lot of attention. And I always measure the vodka in here first, so I don't have to worry about using too much or too little or wasting it. So that's that. All right, what else do I want to show you? I got my notes here. I want to show you um, Dragon's Delight. There's some highlights that I want to go over. Now, I'm not sure if my screen share is going to work, so that's part of the note that I made to myself. I wonder if I can put it on screen share, which I'm going to do right now. Okay. And I think I'm on screen share. So I can see, I'm just going to double check on my cell phone here. And you know what? This is something I really appreciate about the live hangout. Like it's just live hangout. If I'm having tech issues, whatever. Oh, and I did order a new microphone yesterday. Uh, and I also had these backup microphones that I completely forgot about. So there you go. Okay, so it just shows me looking down. I don't see the screen share at all. Okay, let me just try this again. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. So before I have screen shared on StreamYard, I'm going to try and open up another internet window. Okay, so I'm simultaneously looking at my cell phone here, and now I'm not sure which one I have open. Okay, screen share. Here we go. Oh, maybe not. Here we go. Screen share. There's a note saying screen sharing works best on a good computer. Well, really a good computer. Thanks for clearing for that. Okay, I like to screen share the whole screen. Okay, so I thought I might be screen sharing. StreamYard is sharing your screen. Maybe there's just a little delay. I got my cell phone here. Okay, I will try just another minute here or so. Okay, I will try just another minute. Okay. Okay, okay, not okay. I don't know here. It's not screen sharing. You should be able to see my Google screen. Okay, stop screen sharing. Okay, we're gonna try this one more time here. Screen sharing. Try this one more time here. Okay. All right. Okay. We might just be in business here. Sharing this tab to StreamYard. So on my screen, it says share screen. It all looks normal, but then it's not. Okay. I'm sharing the Chrome tab. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to play around with this some more. All right. Stop sharing. Oh, hopefully I didn't close things there on you. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. What I wanted to do was show you my buy me a coffee, but I have the link here. So buymeacoffee.com, Gina Virginia Casella. You could just Google Gina Virginia Casella, BMAC. I'll come up, visit my website. Everything is there. One link to rule them all, ginavirginiacasella.com. And what else do I want to show you? I wanted to show you, here it is, Dragon's Delight. So since I can't put it on screen share, I'm just going to get the information on my cell phone here. Um, Dragon's Delight is the new membership, and it's got some really great deals for you. If you look at my Buy Me a Coffee, you'll see at the top home, membership, post, gallery, shop, and it'll ask you if you want to follow me on Buy Me a Coffee. It's absolutely free, and then you get in on the emails. And I'm pretty good about posting in there almost every day, always something for you to think about, my process, where I'm at. I love sharing. I usually cross post the content in the Facebook group, the free Facebook group, the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. So I recommend Dragon's Delight. It's a collective membership, and I recently just added some things to it. So there's bonuses for each one. So what we do for Dragon's Delight is we meet and I clear your chakras. I It's a collective. So any kind of illumination that you might require, I take care of that. You basically just sit there, lie down, do what you need to do, and I work my shamanic magic, if you will. And you don't have to worry about the language, like um, if you're getting your chakras cleared or if you're getting an illumination, because when I clear, what I do is I test for the lowest presenting chakra. So as a collective, I'm going to be testing for the lowest chakra on a collective level, at least for those who are part of this membership. And then when I illuminate the one chakra, it illuminates all of the rest. So you don't have to overthink, like, did she get my heart chakra? Did she get my, um, sacral chakra? You don't have to worry about all of that. You just show up and I do what I need to do. And then anytime you work with a shaman, it's always followed by an illumination. They may or may not tell you that. And often when you see a shaman, you might register for something called an illumination. Well, depending on how they're advertising themselves, it basically means they're going to clear out your chakras, rebalance them, and illuminate them. So, just like with mind reprogramming, once you clear a space, you need to promptly fill it, or something else will get in there. So, every time I balance your chakras, it leaves a nice, clean, clear space, if you will. Everything's been restored. And then I illuminate. And that illumination is what clears the rest of the chakras. So um, it's really great, and it's a great opportunity. It's affordable if you can't afford to see a shaman. And if you've been seeing somebody like me regularly, and okay, check off list, you've been seeing me, you've done your soul retrieval and whatnot, all your cord cutting, and now you just want to like meet with me monthly for this regular type maintenance. Well, this membership, Dragon's Delight, would be the ultimate membership for you. So you can book a private with me and get all of the attention. But if you don't mind sharing with others and getting a deal at the collective rate, then this is just something that you get in on. Now, if you book private session with me, I gift you this membership anyways. Why? Because of the bonuses, right? So what are those bonuses? The bonuses for this membership. Um, so I open and close sacred space. We do fire ceremony. Those are just bonuses because we don't have to do them. And a lot of shamans will get you to do that stuff on your own time, or they might open and close sacred space before and after they see you just to save time on your session. But for me, it's important that you see that, you hear that. That's part of my practice. Is I desire for you to be there, so I just provide it as a bonus. And I don't know if anybody out there can relate, but when I open and close sacred space, I get sucked right into timelessness. I really own it. I make it my own. Although when it's during like paid time with you, then I stick to the script for two reasons. One, so I don't slip into timelessness and I read what I need to read. And also, I like the familiarity. So when I'm reading it, it sounds the same to you all the time. You start memorizing it in your mind. And if you ever engage in anything with the four winds, well, then you have a sense of familiarity with the opening and closing of sacred space. And so I just think it's a really nice compliment. But so as a bonus, so we're going to meet the first Thursday of each month. And we're going to do this here. It is going to be followed by another bonus. So I figure since we're already meeting, let's stay meeting, because this business of me clearing your chakras as a collective and opening, closing sacred space, that takes about 45 minutes. So after the 45 minutes, I offer a bonus. So we meet with the committee of the ones who listen, and we journey to the pine tree forest. So it's a guided meditation. You take it in. If you want to write a journal, you can. And then we leave, we exit the pine tree forest, and you can choose to share out. It's a great opportunity to hold space and to hear from others, but we don't offer any feedback. So if somebody is like, oh, when I journeyed to the pine tree forest, I met my spirit guide and the dog monkey folk, and we talked about this and that. Great. We just leave it at that. We don't say, oh, well, that's really interesting, Gina. I can relate to that. Or if somebody shares something like, really personal, maybe it's a bit sad. We don't say anything like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. No, it's just we share out. We hear you. We see you. This is the committee of the ones who listen. And we also become that committee of the ones who listen. So the committee of the ones who listen, they're invisible, right? So we also become those faces for each other. And it's one of my favorite things to do. I used to do this just for fun with people. And the journey to the pine tree forest and out, that's going to be the same video, the same words. So it's always going to be familiar. And just like opening sacred space, you start to learn it, right? So it's very intentional. And I really like this routine. So this is going to be the first Thursday of every month. Now, tomorrow is going to be the second Thursday of the month. Now, I just added this in. So if you're part of this paid membership, don't worry, you didn't miss anything. I literally just a few days added this in. Tomorrow, though, the bonus number 4, live personalized mini gemstone reading. So you must be present. And I do this the second Thursday of the month, specifically for this collective. So it's a private meeting. And basically, I just provide a mini gemstone reading. So whoever is there, they get in on that. And it's recorded and it's posted as an unlisted link. So um, sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. You don't have to stick around to listen to other people's, but if you're not there and I'm wrapping things up, well, you might risk losing your turn. So you want to make sure you're logging on right away and you're present for that. So that's a collective membership called Collective Dragon's Delight. So I lovingly invite you to get in on this. When prices increase, they stay the same for current paying members. The cost of the private membership will be increasing. Right now, you get 2 private sessions a month with me. And next month, the price is going to be the same, but you only get 1 session with me. So this month, I thought last hurrah if anybody wants to get in on it. And I was supposed to change it. A month ago or whatever, when I was talking about it, I messed up the time and dates. And so, really great opportunity for you if you wanted to book a private with me. And I'll say it again, when prices go up, they stay the same, current paying members. There's another membership as well. There's 2 collectives at this time, and then you can book your private. So the other collective membership is called Project 30 Isis Unity Consciousness. So I'll just leave that for you to check out, but I wanted to draw your attention to one of the bonuses, because one of the bonuses is that you get to get in on the feel good vibes, right? And I'm just noticing here. Um, oh, yeah, it's there. It's there. Okay. Bonus number 4 includes a free live link to Gina's online conferences. So if you get in on Project 30, Isis Unity Consciousness, then you pay a monthly fee. And if you want to keep staying in this membership, then you just pay month to month, right? When prices go up, they stay the same for current paying members. This membership currently is priced at $30. It started off as a $5 membership, and everybody in that membership was pretty much, it was free. It was just promotion. And now it's priced at $30. Project 30, $30. You can get tickets to the online conference. The first one we hosted, Promise of Spring, it was a huge success. It was free to the public. It's always going to be free to the public. Promise of Spring, that's going to be the first annual one online every year, and that's free to the public. So if you belong to Project 30, then okay, well, you get a free link to that. Everybody does, right? At the rest of the conferences online, like this upcoming one, Summer Days, I'm asking $40 per ticket. It's a great deal. We learned from Promise of Spring that the schedule works. We got lots of compliments, the structure, it's good to go. So we're not going to change a good thing. And if you wanted to watch Promise of Spring, make sure you check out my playlist, the conferences. So anyways, I work with pole energy here. I just want you to know what's available, and there's been some changes. But if you want to get a ticket and call it a day, get your ticket on my Buy Me a Coffee. If you wanted to save some money, then get in on Project 30 Isis Unity Consciousness, is what I'm saying. Okay? All right. What else do I want to show you? I want to show you some things that you may or may not be familiar with. So, whoops, that one I want to show you later. This one here is what I want to show you. In just a moment. Oops, that is the promo video. Okay. I thought it was just the image. Anyways, Summer Days, it's going to be in June. It's online. It costs $40 Canadian. Get in on it, get your tickets, show your support. And I've got 6 speakers lining up. I'm not making any big announcements who they are right now, but I will show you the schedule, show you that video in just a moment. This is the schedule. It's the same structure as the last one, Promise of Spring. So the speakers are going to have a good 35 minutes to chat. It'll be followed by a short Q&A. The keynote speaker, I'm not sure who that's going to be yet. And the keynote speaker sets the tone for the day, so they don't take any Q&As. Now, here's the thing. The people who present, they're going to also be on my show, Story Species, Story Medicine. So there's lots to look forward to. Every Tuesday, Story Species, Story Medicine. If I don't have an author lined up or somebody to share their story medicine, then it's me. I've got lots of story medicine to share. Published 8 books. I published an oracle. I've got a box here full of stuff. I was live yesterday, chit-chatting away. Check it out. So there's much to be said. For the conference, all the topics are ranging from controlled remote viewing, the ancient future, water sustainability, food choices, the vegan cuisine, Darwinism to Lamarckism, themes of sovereignty, the ET agenda, high strangeness, ghosts. So each conference, the topics vary because it depends who the speakers are. Now we're just getting the ball rolling here in 2026. My intention is, as time goes by, that each conference has a designated theme. So right now it's all mixed up, which I like for diversity's sake. And I feel like Promise of Spring should remain mixed up, right? To have that diversity. But then the summer one, the fall, and the winter, I feel like winter should be mostly about dreams and subconscious mind type stuff. Maybe the fall could be themes that have to do with falling down, like fallen soldiers or remote viewing programs, secret space programs. And I'm not sure, I don't have it figured out yet. But on that note, I am in search of a Dragon Dreams executive committee. This is passion driven, so it's volunteer on your part. It's something that you want to do because it's interesting to you and your spidey senses are just tingling because you're like, oh yeah, I want to get in on that. I want to help with the planning and the preparing. I want to be part of these conversations. I'd love to have you. I meet every Friday at 11 by myself. That's my little carved out time that I have. And I'm hopeful that a Dragon Dreams executive committee will manifest, and that's going to be our designated time to meet. Now, we don't have to meet every single Friday, but I feel like we should be meeting every Friday regularly until we have things a bit more set in stone. And the good news for you, if you're interested in joining the executive committee, I've already laid all the groundwork as far as the conference goes. So that's a huge milestone. I desperately don't want to sound too desperate here, but I desperately need help with the advertising and the technology. That's the whole thing about Project 30. So before you contact me about being interested in joining the Dragon Dreams Executive Committee, check out my content and know what you're getting into. I've had a number of people reach out to me, but they have like nothing to offer me. They have no idea what they're even getting into. And like, I'm looking for people who have experience in leadership. And if you don't have experience in leadership, then you're ready to rock and roll to create posters on Canva. You know how to do this. You have initiative, and I don't have to spoon feed you everything. And I really would like to transform my book series into a movie series. I was hopeful to have like even a 5-minute video to play at the last conference. It didn't manifest. That's okay. But I would really like to start doing that, even if it's just a bunch of 5-minute videos, whatever. I was hopeful for like, an hour and a half. But the videos I'm creating might be about 5 minutes only. So it could also be a mix of things. I'm open. So anyways, I just love chit-chatting with you here. I'll show you another slide, speaking of the Fridays. So um, so every Friday at 11, that's my special time to meet with the executive. And right now I'm just meeting by myself. The last Friday of the month, that's when I do Dreaming with Gemstone Gina. So this is separate from the paid membership. This is for people who would like to get a live mini gemstone reading from yours truly. And last month, nobody joined me. So I go on, I remind everybody what Dreaming with Gemstone Gina is about. And if anybody donates money into my Buy Me a Coffee, not right now, but the last Friday of the month, you contribute to my Buy Me a Coffee, and then right there live, I do a gemstone reading. Now, if you're not following me, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube, please, pretty please with sugar on top, hit the subscribe button, because my understanding is once I get 1,000 subscribers, we can get the super chat thing going, which will be convenient for other Dragon Dreamers out there. You'll have the option of buy me a coffee and the super chat, right? And it also helps with the algorithms and whatnot as well. So if you're on the executive committee, then there's an expectation, a healthy expectation, that you're going to be joining me for Dreaming with Gemstone Gina, and that you are available to the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. The intention is that Dreaming with Gemstone Gina is like an opportunity for the public to see and hear the Dragon Dreams Executive Committee, who the folks are behind the scenes and just connecting with the audience. For me, that's really important, that the executive committee, you're not just these people hiding behind closed doors all the time, that once a month you're high available in the chat, nothing over the top, and reach out if you're interested. All right, so now I want to go back to a slide that I showed you earlier, but let me just play you that little promo video now. So Summer Days 2026, this June. Let me remove myself from the screen and play the promo video for you. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you enjoyed that video. No tears were created in the making of it. I really enjoyed, it came close to tears at some points, but I really enjoyed using Canva in particular, and just PowerPoint as well, and getting the images together in little videos, and also just the images that come with it, and this business of journeying to the pine tree forest. So when you come to the online conference, you're actually coming to the pine tree forest. I don't know if you knew that or not. So got a few more slides to show you, and if you have any questions for me, put them in the chat. I don't notice any at this time. Okay, two more slides for you. This one here. This slide is important because this is what goes on every month. You don't have to worry about the number date. Every Tuesday, 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, Story Species, Story Medicine, Extra Strength. Wednesdays at 1:30, hanging out live with you. That's what I'm doing right now. The last Friday of each month, dreaming with Gemstone Gina. And then right now at this time, Tuesdays and Thursdays, those are the designated days for the private memberships. And then seasonally, we have the conferences. So I'll show you the slide for that. So these are the dragging dates for 2026. Promise of Spring, March 14th was a huge hit. Like I said, it's still available. It's on the conferences playlist on my YouTube. Summer Days, Saturday, June 13th. That's online. I'm in the process of planning it now. And whoo, it's so much easy peasy, lemon squeezy, breezy. Because like I mentioned earlier, all the groundwork has been laid from the last conference. And so I have a master chat on the go with some of the presenters, and I sent them this like Bible, if you will, for the conference. And I found myself deleting a lot of things that weren't necessary from the last one, because I also didn't have a committee for the last conference. And so I was really overwhelming the presenters with my ideas and whatnot. And so even just having a schedule like this schedule here, for Promise of Spring, it was green. You know what? It's blue for Summer Days. Just this kind of stuff, right? Like reusing these templates, keeping it simple. Let me know in the comments if you can relate. I was a teacher for 20 years, and so I like to be very organized. I wasn't planning on showing you this, but I might as well show you. So this is for June 13th, summer days. And just this morning, I literally took papers from my promise of spring and transferred it into here. So it's nice and organized, just little tips and tricks for myself to remember, opening sacred space. So I won't slip into timelessness. And it's so funny because for promise of spring, when I was opening sacred space, I started slipping into timelessness, even though I was reading right from here. And I remember having a moment thinking, oh no, I don't know how much time's gone by. I forgot that I was live. So it's just funny, you know. The journey to the pine tree forest, I recorded it, but just in case tech issues, I got it here printed out, so you might have to listen to me read it. Um, the speech that I had, I printed out here. I'm a hard copy person, so there's some notes on this page too that I just want to keep handy. Yeah, I like sharing my process. I also like to learn about your process. I thought about making some videos, maybe even selling like a little 2-day, 3-day hangout, come learn some business tips and tricks. But I thought maybe I'll wait till I rake it in financially, and then that will help sell my little program. But you know what? The presenters, they may or may not have experience using PowerPoint, for example. And behind the scenes, I actually have some expectations that have scared some presenters away, and other presenters, they're like, yeah, no problem. And it came to my attention because one of the presenters last time was like, yeah, no problem. And I didn't realize it, but they've never made a PowerPoint presentation. Um, and I thought to myself, like when I found that out, I was like, well, you know what, if they want to present, then respectfully, they've got some homework to do, right? But this round, I was realizing, to make a long story short, I was realizing, you know, myself included, technology tends to scare us away, right? And when it comes to sharing story medicine, I also realized that some of the presenters, you know, like they're real people too, they struggle with things like brain fog, anxiety, depression. Um, so when it comes to these cognitive type tasks, like creating a presentation, it's like, oh shit, all of a sudden they're back in elementary school or something. It's been a while. And I don't want that to deter anybody. So I let the presenters know because it sounded like one presenter is going to need some help, and somebody reached out to me and they're like, oh, you know, I think this person would be a really great presenter, and don't worry about it because I let them know that I'll help them with the PowerPoint. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, like I wonder if there's other potential presenters out there who, like, some people don't want to make the PowerPoint because it's extra work and they just don't want to do it. But some people, they don't want to do it because they don't know how, and they don't have the time to go do like a learning curve. And so, anyways, um, I'm going to create a little basic video in honor of the presenters, whether they need it or not. Just a very quick, this is how you make a PowerPoint presentation. This is how you transform it into a video. And I thought maybe, like, if I'm going to be doing that anyways, then I could start building like a course to share with you. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. If you'd be interested in purchasing videos from me, video lessons to show you, because I have a 20-year teaching career, and in my um, playlist, you can find a playlist called Miss Casella's Classroom. And there's so much of my teaching career that I wish I made YouTube videos. When I remember in like 2015-ish, that's when I started making those Miss Casella's Classroom videos. And my intention at that time was basically to teach. And then after the kids went home, when it was all fresh in my head, I would do a lesson and talk about like what worked, what didn't work with my class. But at that time, all I could find was on call. So I didn't have the stability, and then it never happened. But If you need help with integers and bed mass, okay, moving the decimal to do your math equation, I might even have to go back and watch my own videos, okay? But watch them. And those videos were actually targeted for grade 7 and 8 students that I had worked with, that they were working at like a grade 3, 4, 5 level, which is okay. And that was the thing. Like even, greater than and less than, like, the alligator's mouth. Well, a lot of students in grade 7 and 8, they mess that right up, and it rips on their self-esteem because they don't understand, right? And it just like, I mean, I know that that the number 6, for example, is greater than the number 4. So the triangle, the alligator's mouth, would be pointing at the bigger number, right? But a lot of students start to think that this means greater than. It could be this or this. It just matters what side the bigger number is on, right? And when it comes to fractions, like by the time you get to grade 7 and 8, you don't just have like the number 6, the number 4, greater than, less than, or equal to. Remember the equal sign? But it would give you like 2 math equations, like bed mass math equations, or move the decimal and create a percentage type math equation. And then you have to let the teacher know greater than, less than. And so anyways, the teacher in me and my high quality items are coming out. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. And also the presenters for the conference, I'm not paying them any money, and I told them that. And I offered them in exchange, because I'm all about energy exchange, I will be providing them with a full 45-minute gemstone reading. It was a real hit last time with the other presenters. Some of the presenters couldn't make it, and I made them a video anyways, and they resonated with the video. So that was really cool. And I feel it's important too that the presenters experience at least a little taste of my gemstone readings, right? So it's interesting too, because I do all this stuff. I do energy medicine work. I'm a hypnotherapist. No offense to me, not too many clients are booking. Why? Because it seems like, well, according to my book series, the prediction is basically that the services I offer won't be available to the public. The services that I offer will basically only be available to folks like the presenters as an energy exchange, um, because I'll be busy with that. Okay, well, how do I pay my bills, right? Can't pay my bill with an energy exchange. Well, I'm going to be paying my bills with the money generated from the conference. So the overhead fees, the administration fees, it's me, the administrator, right? So I really appreciate the willingness and openness of the presenters to work with me and to give this a try. Like I said, Promise of Spring was a real hit. I'm just having a little laugh as I look at my notebook here, because um, it's always good to have a list of good words to use. I've always been one to brain fart it out, but since my severe panic attack, the brain fog, it sets in. So even though I don't feel like I need to have like a list of special words, they're here anyways. And it just makes me feel better that they're there. It's kind of like a crutch that I can lean on when I'm live. I say the word phenomenal a lot. Phenomenal, outstanding, that was amazing. Well, what other words are there to use, right? Fantastic, wonderful, terrific, super. So I have that here. And this here was just pure gold, because for me, on the actual day of the conference, Promise of Spring, I had the schedule printed out nice and big, of course. I like having it printed out on the 11 by 17 paper, because I don't want to have a bunch of sticky notes. I want to have the liberty of having this nice white space here if there's something that I need to write down, because this is one of those situations where this only fucking matters for the day, and then it doesn't matter anymore. But I took it from the last conference and I put it in my special folder for the next conference just to keep me organized. And then as I get organized, well, this will just go in the trash can, and then the other one will replace it. And so I had that, and I also had this. This here I didn't jumbo size. So this was like a behind the scenes, step 1, this is happening, step 2, that's happening, and there's timestamps on here. So I was a real timekeeper at the conference and literally checking off the list, highlighting things if I felt like I needed that to be highlighted, and just random notes to help me remember, because when I presented, like at the last conference, I had a special background that was highlighting the conference. But then when I presented as the keynote speaker, I changed my background. Well, I made a note on here to make sure that I changed it back. And initially, I sent all the presenters this, and this round I didn't. So it's not part of their Bible. So again, this was like super mega important for the last conference, but now it doesn't matter, right? It's kind of like when a waitress takes your order, it's like very important, that little piece of paper that has all the notes. And then once you get your food, the paper doesn't matter anymore. So that's how I get organized. I like to keep it simple. And I'm wondering about you. I have a lot of experience helping out with conferences just from my teaching career. I've presented personally, usually in groups of like 25, something like that. Hang out in the classroom at the library. But with my union meetings, we would meet in the gym, and it would be like teachers, educational assistants, school counselors, anywhere from like 100 to 300. Sometimes, like when the revised curriculum came out, I jumped on the opportunity to be on the committee. It was volunteer, and I like hearing things from the horse's mouth, or if there's an article going around, I like to get my hands on that article and read it for myself first, right? Don't have to be the expert, just being in the know helps me. And so I miss those days, to be honest. I miss those days where I would be that keener and get ahead on the reading. And then we would divide the whole school district, elementary, intermediate teachers would be together, and then the high school teachers would be together. And then sometimes, like the grade 5, 6, 7, 8 teachers, sometimes they would want to collaborate. There would be like their own. And then sometimes it was fun just to break off like the kindergarten, grade 1, 2, 3 teachers. Anyways, I miss doing group work and that kind of stuff. And at the British Columbia Teachers Federation's annual general meeting, AGM, those audiences were 1,000 people. And you can bet I was shitting bricks at the microphone. It's awesome, taking the microphone, shitting bricks, having late nights, early mornings. And it's all worth a good cause in the name of public education, promoting the social emotional learning. And so all these high quality items I'm carrying with me forward and making stuff like conferences possible. So let me know how you relate. Let me know what is possible for you. I'm feeling really organized. Physical space is important. And I'm living out of boxes right now. I'm staying with my parents. So I'm just in the room all the time at my desk. If I don't have a client, then I work with the ghosties. So just checking my little note here. Okay, I think I showed you everything that I needed to show you. On a final note, those of you who are not familiar with me, welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got 84 followers now on Buy Me a Coffee. Again, it's free to follow me, and it's never about the number. It's always about the quality. We're a high quality Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe collective. And I noticed other people are using that language, Soul Tribe, ever since I've been using it, and that's fine. I mean, I got it from a spiritual mentor talking about soul tribe. And so let me know if you're using that too, soul tribe. So if you're not familiar with me, yeah, I was a public school teacher for 20 years. I became a hypnotherapist. I was trained by one of the best, Marissa Peer, RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy, Hypnotherapy. So I just love learning about the mind. I love psychology, um, learning about dreams and that kind of stuff. Hypnotherapy, you don't talk about dreams. It's just strictly mind reprogramming, talking about suggestibility, and ultimately helping people identify and smash false inhibiting beliefs. And the rules of the mind, once you get me started, it's hard for me to stop. But I'm very passionate about the rules of the mind because they just like, if you're not aware of them, it's really frustrating and they do contradict themselves. And that's part of the frustration. Um, the mind tends to manifest what it's thinking. So if you're thinking shitty thoughts, well, those shitty thoughts tend to manifest because they're on your mind, right? Well, you don't want to manifest shitty thoughts. Well, that's the rules of the mind, or you can't have conflicting beliefs. So they cancel each other out. It's like a bedmass equation. So this to me was very, very intriguing, and I just love it. I can't say enough about it. I used to offer 3-hour sessions because I really wanted to take the deep dive. Marissa Peer trained me and others to just do it within an hour. And I found at the time the clients that I had, they needed me to spend a lot of time talking with them. And I needed to have more confidence on my part. You only need 45 minutes to an hour, right? So a lot of clients, they want to tell you their whole life story. They think this is going to come up. They think that, no. So like years ago when I started doing this, I used to take the time because I thought, you know what, if client feels heard, and it's important to feel heard. But you know what, Marissa Peer, she's the pro. She's been doing this for a number of years now. She invented RTT, by the way. It's a creation of her own making. There's no spiritualism involved in RTT. She made it that way so it could be available to everyone. But she also told us, use whatever language your client is using. So if your client believes in God or uses the universe in lieu of God, or would like you to say things like creator in your hypnotherapy session, then by all means do that. But the point that she was making is that it's for everybody. And that's what really inspired me. So Marissa Peer, check her out. She's got all kinds of videos on YouTube. Super love her. And of course, recently I graduated from the Four Winds as a master practitioner of energy medicine. And it's so funny because I've been wanting to take this course for years. It was way too expensive. And so the story is that, so like, I don't know, like more than a handful of years ago now, I was like, I was just talking about this yesterday, actually. I had the Jaguar spook. So I was really freaked out about spirit. And I'm like, Dr. Alberto Villaldo, I got to talk to that guy, right? Even if it means booking a session with him and I don't do a session just to talk to him. And then I found out about the Shaman 21 community, and they meet every full moon, every new moon. There's opportunity for Q&A. And so I got in on that. And I told Alberto about the Jaguar spooks, and he was very supportive. He totally related. He had an incident with Snake where he got freaked right out. Um, so he he's always encouraging people to take the energy medicine course, right? And so in a general way, he's like telling people take this course. But when I was sharing my story, and then he was giving me that gift of time when I was live that day a handful of years ago, he was really emphasizing that I take this course. Like he wasn't just mentioning it. Like, he really was insisting that I sign up for the energy medicine training. And I was like, okay. And then I looked at the price and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know where Alberto thinks I'm getting my money from, um, but I later learned, this is like different, multiple long stories cut short, that often when people take shamanic training, there's some kind of rhyme or reason that prevents them. Usually it's money, or it's because something's going on in their life, like they're having a baby or there was a death, and it's just they don't have the time to commit right now, right? But often it's money. And so this process challenges your very beliefs and your very value of yourself. And this is part of the shadow work. There's a lot of people who want to take shamanic training because they think that um, they want to tread the water. They don't want to take the deep dive. And there's a lot of imposter syndrome as well. Shamanic training, this isn't something that's just packaged in a box that you can sell. It's something that it's lifelong, and it's a continuum, your learning process. So if you can't afford to take the training, then the communication is that nature becomes your teacher. For whatever reason, in my case, it was financial, could not afford this program. So that redirected me to nature. And it wasn't about money. I thought it was about money, but it wasn't about money. It was about me needing to connect to nature first. And that's all part of my dream journals. And then eventually, one step at a time, I took the training. Now, for what it's worth, if I had the money to take the training a handful of years ago, I wouldn't have been successful. I would have been totally overwhelmed. Um, I always want to hold myself in the highest light, but for what it's worth, the brain fog was really bad at that time. The mental health issues and the stigmas of mental health that I was facing at that time, I wouldn't have had the time to really enjoy reading what I needed to read, watching the videos that I needed to watch. So trust in the process if you're like me and you want to take something like this and you don't have the money to. One step at a time. And, anyways, it's funny because finally, when I took the training, it was super intense. I did it over the course of 6 months, and I didn't realize I was going to become a master practitioner. So I always have a laugh because I thought it was intense. And I always have a laugh too because when my certificate came in the email, not in the mail, but in email, I remember going, huh? What? Master practitioner? It's just so funny, right? Like, and just it's a testament to the fact that I wanted this so bad. Ultimately, it didn't matter what it was called, master practitioner, regular practitioner. It just, the energy medicine training, that's what I wanted. And that's what I got. Right. And it's also funny too, because um, I received an email welcoming me, if I wanted to, which I took the invitation, into the master's circle. The master's circle is for master practitioners of the energy medicine. And I remember thinking, oh, that's really too bad because I'm not a master. So sometimes when we take the deep dive is so deep that we don't even realize what we're into. And I couldn't be any more thrilled because the way the shamanic training ended is the way things begin, right? So the way it ended was talking about oracle and stone people, plant people, and special messages from the earth. And I'm like, this is it. Like, this is exactly where I need to be. And so the master circle, it actually starts next month. This month they send out the emails, and then next month it actually starts. And so I'm going to be meeting regularly with shamans for the rest of my life. And because I'm a graduate of the master practitioner of energy medicine, my name and my website, my email address is going to be on the Four Winds website. So that's a real accomplishment for me. I never would have dreamed anything like this. And so when you book a session with me, you don't have to overthink it. Like, do I need RTT? Do I need an illumination? Maybe I have an intrusive entity, but I feel like I'm in a hurry to cut cords with people. Like, you just come and see me. Like, if you look at my Buy Me a Coffee membership, um, it says that. Like, just like, I always test for intrusive entities because in my experience, mind reprogramming isn't going to work. Soul retrieval is not going to work. And those were big lessons that I learned during my shamanic training. You know, people are always in a rush to do things, right? Well, it depends where you are at in your journey, but you can't just book an appointment with a shaman and do soul retrieval and bada bing, bada boom, it's done. I don't think so. And it's no offense to the shaman who's helping you out. And it's none of my business. Like, maybe, you know, you've done a lot of work in the past. So that one-off session that you booked with that one-off random shaman, it worked for you because you were ready to do that. But when it comes to energy medicine and mind reprogramming for that matter, the mind can only handle so much information. So that's another reason why my sessions are only 45 minutes long. So even though you might feel like you could handle more, it's not a good idea. And if you want to handle more, I recommend journaling and doing things with your energy, like making floras and that kind of stuff. So I always have lots to say. It's almost 3 o'clock here. I went live at 1:30. Let me just double check my slides that I have here. Showed you this, showed you that. This is the updated slide. Um, Old version didn't have the writing on it, but I love this image because this is the real image. I have it just right here of this wooden leaf that I bought, and I found some stones in the yard and I colored them to represent the chakras. Sure, I could have spent money on fancy gemstones or whatever, but you know what? The shaman is the number one tool. So some of my colleagues, whoa, they have like the most beautiful gemstones and whatnot. And I just have this. But you know what? You don't need this at all. I just like to work with the imagination. So when I'm calling in your energy field, literally your energy comes to me through the computer. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but you come to me. And it's always such a delight because the moment I invite your energy, it's almost like your energy, like you're there sitting, you know, at the computer, or some people, they like to lie down, okay, whatever. But it's like your spirit, your energy, it's like right here, just waiting for me to invite you. And as soon as I invite you, like, I'm not even done inviting you, and the spirit energy is like right here. And then it's just such a joy for me to do my thing. And it's um, like I said, I like to do a little bit of story medicine, toss around the Gnome King's gemstones, not talk therapy, just to get conversation going. And I wasn't planning on showing you this, but now, you know what, since I'm showing you, you can see there the rattle in the picture. It's kind of plain looking, but now it looks like this. I'll remove the image. So now it looks like this. So reduce, reuse, recycle. I bought this rattle on Amazon, and I thought, well, how can I make it unique, right? And so I added some tethered pieces from my dream scarves, right? I was hopeful to find a feather of like a big bird of prey. I was hopeful for a hawk because there's hawks over here. But I found this little guy, and I thought, you know what? I think this was a special message to me that bigger isn't always better. And for my purposes right now, it's nice to have a feather on top, because when I'm doing cord cutting in particular, it's like doing surgery, if you will, like psychic surgery. I'm not actually like cutting into your skin, but I always cauterize the energetic wound. So I literally like um, take my incense and go like this over you. And so this little feather, like, it really worked out for me. I don't have a big feather. I feel like one day when I go for a walk, I will find the feather that I need. And you can use the feather to, do what I was just doing, but I think it's cool and convenient to have it at the top here. Um, in lieu of the feather, I've got 2 knives. You can use knives or you can use feathers. One knife represents like that it's been in blood. These are butter knives and they're not supposed to be sharp. So if you know anybody who has like sharp knives or daggers, I don't know who their mentors were, but you don't need that. Just something dull. And it's supposed to be dull because it's a shamanic tool. It's not an actual knife to like defend yourself with. So the pink helps me remember that this is like the blood one. And then the orange, it just represents passion for me. So red is closer to pink, right? So, and then the bells, I added the bells at some point because I'll show you another tool I have. Whoops. So I have another tool right here. I've got bells. So sometimes I use these more than others. When I want to connect with nature spirits, I'll just like make noises with these bells. And sometimes when I make flora, I'll like make bell noises over it so the essence of the bells get in there. And well, the bells started falling off, and so I just collected them, and I thought, oh, might as well tie it on to my knife, And one of the floras that I made a little while ago, I tied a bell onto that. So I also have a pendulum here. There used to be like a really long chain that came with it, but the chain kept breaking. And it was weird, I had a lot of intrusive entities at that time personally. And then I just thought, I'm done with this chain. I'm done with the chain. So I spontaneously grabbed a tethered piece of old orange dream scarf that I had, and this is what I use now as my pendulum. So when I test for intrusive entities, the pendulum promise, I know what yes means. Anything else is a no, and that's the pendulum promise. So let me know what you do. And I've got my puyas and stuff here too. These are just regular stones, regular rocks, until you go through the process and transform them into kuyas. And so, anyways, when I registered for the training, I told the guy, I said, look, like the shaman is the number one tool. So, like, this course cost me a lot of money. I don't want to spend money on tools because I'm also moving around a lot. I'm living out of boxes right now. And I find like there's different reasons too. Like, I don't want to be that person that goes on Amazon and buys something that looks cool. Like, I want these tools to come to me as they will. And I want to honor nature and I want to use what I have. So I feel like I've been doing that. But when I had like my initial call with the Four Winds, the guy that I was chatting with, he said, yeah, absolutely. You don't need to buy anything fancy. You don't have to spend a lot of money. He absolutely agreed with me that the shaman is the number one tool. Like, what about if I go out of town and, oh no, I forget my rattle. Now I can't do my work on you? No, I can just use my hand. It's fine. The shaman is the number one tool. But there was one tool. He said, if you're going to take this training, then you need to drop the money and buy this one tool. And that was this crystal. So it's got double pointed edges. One side is it's like more narrow at the top, and then it widens. You can get these bigger. This has 8 faces to it. 2, 4, 6, or 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, it has 8 faces to it. But you can get some that have like tons and tons and tons of faces, and they really range in price. This one here cost me just over $1,000, and I was not to spend that much money on a crystal, but it's necessary, and it keeps me safe, and it keeps you, the client, safe, and it also keeps the intrusive entity safe. So when I do an extraction, I hold this in my hand, and then you put your hand on top of my hand, even if it's virtual. And the intrusive entities, they tend to hide in your lower back and your spine, and they come up. It's like a magnet right through your shoulder, down your arm, into here. So if I'm working on one client, I can do extraction after extraction. Like usually if there's like 1 or 2 entities, they'll come together, but I'll test again, and you might have another one, bring that other one, right? But when I'm done with you, I need to cleanse this, and there's a special process. I got my salt here ready, and the training is flexible, right? Just like a cook in the kitchen, there's like some things that you need to do, but then there's some things that are flexible, to each their own. But there was one thing that was forbidden, and that's not clearing the crystal between clients. And let's say you have a client and you do an safe extraction, then ideally you want to do the clearing of the crystal like right after that, despite if you have another client or not. Which is why I like to have a little space between clients too. It doesn't take long to do the clearing. But you want to make sure that you're staying safe. So let's say there was let's say I extracted an intrusive entity from you, and then the intrusive entity is now inside here. Well, it's not just going to stay in there forever. It will make its way out. So there's no like timestamp on it, but the rule of thumb is like promptly after the session or within the 24-hour period. Otherwise, that intrusive entity is like now floating around in your house or whatever. You can get it, somebody else can get it. And intrusive entities are everywhere, even in the lower world with Huskar. When you do soul retrieval, I journey to the underworld on your behalf. And lo and behold, who else is in the underworld? These guys that need to be extracted. So Alberto Villaldo, I was watching him a while ago now, like a year ago now, and somebody was asking him, like, Alberto, how come your courses are so much money? How come it costs so much money for a session? And Alberto just started saying, like, well, this cost $1,000. He also went to whatever university. And so that's another reason why my prices are going up, to find balance with the cost of the tuition and acquiring the tools. So let me know about you if you have any special shamanic training. There's lots of different modalities out there. I don't sell modalities, But people ask me all the time, where did you acquire your training? If I wanted to buy a book, who would you recommend? I always recommend Alberto Villaldo, Bruce Lipton, Marissa Peer, Greg Braden. There might be one or two more that I can't think of off the top of my head right now, but I learned that in my teaching career. If you provide a big long list of like a bibliography or books that you recommend, some people, they have a budget. It doesn't matter what's on that list. They just go out and buy it. And so I don't like that. I just like to recommend one or two or three, a handful, and that's it. Otherwise, you get lost, I find, in the content. The focus gets lost. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. Next time I see you, this will be in a nice little bottle. I don't know. I might not use this because I like seeing the color, and then you can't see the color if the sock is on. So I don't know. Sock or no sock. I think I'm not going to use the sock. I wasn't even thinking. I like seeing the color. You know. Anyways, let me know how you make flowers and whatnot. And a big welcome to new dragons. My name is Gina Virginia Casella. I would absolutely love for you to buy me a coffee. Show up the last Friday of the month, Dreaming with Gemstone Gina. Get yourself a mini gemstone reading, or better yet, get in on a membership. Get in on a private membership and get in all the attention. Identify and smash false inhibiting beliefs. Reclaim your life. Your Akashic record is not a permanent record, and nobody has any business editing your contract. Nobody has any business being in your energy field. And if you're interested in leveling up, there's a link for you in the chat. You can get in on StreamYard, save yourself a little bit of money. Not sure what's going on with the screen share. I have a feeling it's me, the user. I must have some kind of something turned on or off. So let me know if you can help out with that. And again, if you're interested in joining the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective Executive Committee, then I can certainly use your help. And you can look forward to a full gemstone reading by yours truly as an energy exchange. So on that note, take good care of yourselves. We had lots of snow yesterday. Today it's like beautiful and sunny. There was like 6 deer, a mix of adults and babies. So it looks like a summer day outside, but it's a little chilly out there still. All right, Dragon Dreamers, Gina Virginia Casella here. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you next time.